Hi, I'm Paul Seal from codeshare.co.uk. Just doing another bonus episode for my series showing you how you can create a website in Umbraco from a Bootstrap template and then showing you how to plug that into Umbraco CMS. One of the things that was missing from the original 11 that I did, I've added a 12th and now this will be the 13th, is about the metadata and the SEO tags and things like that. So I'm going to just show you how to add these sort of things in so you can do that yourself and extend your site and make it searchable on Google and things like that. So let's go into it. So if we just view the page source on this one that I've been doing for my mother-in-law, Fiona Whitfield Art, if I view source, we can see there's all of this on the free template that I was given. We've got title, image, URL, site name. We've got the meta description and keywords. So they're all there, but they're not filled in properly. These are filled in by the template that I got. So the free HTML5 template that I'm using. So what we want to do is make those dynamic. So hopefully you should know how to do that, because it should be inferred from the other things that I've shown you, but let's make one specific about that. So first thing to do then is to go into the template where these are. And so that's my web-based template, and you can see they're all in here and they're all empty. So what I want to do is I'm just going to cut out this here. Actually, I'll leave that line about Facebook and Twitter integration. So we've got description, keywords and author. I'm going to do author as Fiona Whitfield. So it's her site. You could make it vary based on different articles or different, if you've got multi-author website. I'm just going to hard code that in, but you could easily just create a text box for that. So the keywords, I'm going to just delete the content of that and the description. I'm going to delete that as well. Also, this title here, we don't want that. We want our own. So now I've just stripped out the title. So that title is what shows up in the browser title up here. So that's not going to have one now. So just keep the URL, I think. Yeah. So let's get Umbraco open then. And we're going to create some properties. Before I do that, I'm going to just take these out of here. So I'm going to create a partial view. I'm just going to call it metadata. So site layout, going to create a new partial view. I'll just put it on high power. Yeah, I'm on high performance, that's good. Sorry about that. So new partial view, I'm going to call it metadata. And that's in my site layout folder. So so when I'm passing the model into this, I'm going to do that in the controller from the site layout controller. And my model is going to need to have all of these things set up for it. So I now need to, I think the best thing to do is to create the model now. So if we go into models and I just do a new class and I call it metadata model, and then I need to look at what I've got in here, so what I need and what I'm going to pass in. So I need a title. I know I didn't bring that over, but I'll fix that. So public string title get set. I need a description. I need keywords. And I'll do an image for now as well, but it wasn't really meant to be about the image, but I'll stick an image in as well for the Facebook sharing and things like that. Right, so we've got an image URL. What else is there? Just a site name. I suppose we can stick that in. It's not really going to change, so I probably wouldn't bother putting that in. Actually, I won't do that. I'm not going to bother with the site name. I'm just going to put the site name in as Fiona Whitfield Art. But you can pass it in if you want to. It's up to you. So I've got a title, so that will meet that. I've got an image URL. I've got a URL. So yeah, okay, I'll do a URL, public string URL. Description, so that will come from there, and then title, image, URL, and card. So the card, I'll just show you the one that I'm using on CodeShare, but that basically for Twitter is, so you've got a preview image. It's the layout of the preview when you share a link. Okay, so that's those, the keywords, the description, the author. Yeah, I think I've got everything now. So I need to create something in Umbraco that will feed these for each page. So I'm going to go into Umbraco now. Hopefully I've not forgotten my password. Is it loading? Is it going to log me in? Yeah, it's remembered my password. Has it? Yeah, I'm in. Right, so now we need to go to the document types, core types. So I'm just going to create metadata core type, and I'll just do so I want to have a new tab, and I'm going to call it metadata, or we could call it SEO. But it's got other things on there as well, but hey ho. Right, so the first property that I want on there, I'll just go by this, is I don't need the URL, I'll pick that up. So I want title, and the title, I suppose, I'll make it overridable, so it'll pick up the page name if you don't put one in there. So enter a title for the meta name, and if not, it will use the page name. And the editor, I'm going to do a text box. I'll do a reuse and then text string. Sorry about that. Save, so it's not mandatory. And what's next? I want the description, so I'll do a text area for that. So description. This is the description you see in Google or other places where it is shared. This is used for searching and introducing your article. So the editor I want to do is reuse a text area. Submit that. I'm not going to make any of these mandatory, but you could if you wanted to. And then what else is there? Keywords. So this is a cool property in Umbraco. I'll show you this. So enter the keywords for searching. So now that I've got this, this will help my advanced search, because now I've got some keywords on there. So yeah, I can point the site search at these keywords, and that will help with my site search. but also it helps for search engines to look. But apparently they don't pay as much attention now. I'm not sure how much attention they do pay, but I always like to add them on, and I think it's helped my site by having them. Anyway, so reuse, and then we're going to do a tags. So this is a cool property editor. I'll show you how to use that in a moment. And then I'll do a social share image. So choose an image to display when this page is shared. So I'll reuse just the media picker and submit that. So that will be an optional one. Say if you're sharing it on Facebook, you want this page to come up with a certain image. It can find images on the page, but you might want a specific one for it. So that's good. So I'll save that. So in theory, I've got all the properties that I need, and this is in a metadata one. So I want to add that to, let's say, a blog post. So compositions, metadata, there it is. Oh, it's saying that I can't use it, so let's have a look at why I can't use that. I'm not sure why I can't use it. I've never had it where I can't use it like that before. Maybe I've already got something else. So let's have a look. Basic content, article content, featured items. Let's just see if I've used SEO anywhere else. Not that I remember. Have I got a property the same? I bet I've got title. No, don't know what's title controls. I think the problem here, it's a good job I did this actually, is that I've already got a title elsewhere. So if I change this now, meta title. So if I have got a title elsewhere, I probably don't need this. So I'm going to take this off and we'll use the title that's already there. So I'm going to bin that one. I wasn't sure about needing that title, but we don't need 3 different titles. One from the name, one from the intro controls, the title controls, and one from the SEO. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I'm going to save that. Now let's have a look to see if we can add it onto the blog posts on the compositions. Yes, you see now it's not grayed out. I can use it, so that was a good one. I didn't realise that it was doing that, but I'm happy that it does. Also, I want to shove this over towards the end of the list of tabs when you're going across. So if I do a reorder and I change the order of this to be, say, 10, I really want it at the back. So now if I go to a blog post, did I add it to it? I think I did. Let's have a look. Yeah, SEO. Now we've got the SEO tab. So I can put a description in there and then I can do the keywords. So let's say this is a post about the iPhone 6. Keywords, iPhone 6, new phone. Obviously it's not a new phone. I'm aware of that. This is just an out-of-date article title. And released, just putting the keywords on there, and then the social share image. So let's do a article image and we'll pick that, submit that. So now whenever this gets shared, it will get shared and the preview image will be this image here. So because of the style of this template that I've used, it doesn't have a header image. What I'd normally do for this is use the header image that you get from the article header anyway, rather than picking another image. So if you see on codeshare.co.uk, whenever you share any of my pages, you get the image that is the header image. Anyway, so we've created these. So now what we want to do in the code is get those properties and pull it into here, so that every time the page loads, it's got that detail from there. So if we go into the controller, site layout controller, and we'll create a new one on the bottom here, and we'll call it private or public action result render metadata, or SEO. I have confused things here by calling it meta and SEO. Sorry about that. SEO, search engine optimization. Search engines use the metadata from your site. So I want to return a partial view and the partial view is within the scope of this, which is at the top, partial view path up here. So that's going to come back with this scope and then the name. So the partial view I need is the one called metadata. So underscore metadata, and I'm going to pass in the model. So the model that I'm going to use is the one that I created called metadata model equals new metadata model. Now the properties that I want on there are title. So I'm just going to do this a quick way. So current page dot has property. So if the current page has a title, remember this is the one that there was a conflict. So if it's got a title, then I want it to use the title. So I'll do current page dot get property value as a string, and then I'll just get title. And if it hasn't got a title, then I want it to use the name. So there we go. So that will populate the title for us. The next one, I'll just paste these in, sorry about it going side to side. So I've got the title. What else was there? There was the description, model.description. I want the description to pull through from there. I don't want it to be doing a check like that. Actually, I'm not sure whether it will. Well, if it's got description, yeah, I'll leave it like this. It'd be better, I suppose. Then pull through the description, otherwise null. And I think you could use the null conditional operator as well. But I'm just not sure with this. I'll publish content, so this will be quite definitive doing it this way. You could use dynamics and just get it to bring it back, and if it hasn't got it, it hasn't got it. So let's look at the model again. So metadata model. So we've got a URL which we're going to get, a title, a description, keywords. So same thing here. Keywords. The way this stores the keywords, even though it's using those tags, it's just going to store them comma separated. So you can just pull them through as a string, which is quite handy. So that's model.keywords, and then finally we want the image URL. So if we go with if current page has property, and we want social share image, so the naming convention is lowercase and then uppercase each word, so social share image. So if it's got that value, then I want to get that value as an integer. So int current page dot, int media ID equals current page dot get property value as an integer, and the property is called social share image. Then I can use dynamics to, this is what I've found the easiest way here. So var media item equals umbraco.media, and then give it the media ID. If anyone's got a better way of doing this, I'm willing to hear about it, but for me this is really easy, and then I can do model.image URL equals media item dot URL. So it's using dynamics there, so I've not got the IntelliSense on that. And that's only going to get set if there is that property anyway, so it's only going to do these calls if that's there. So that will hopefully work, and then what we need to do is pass in the model here. So we need to do a using statement using, so Fiona Whitfield art dot models, and then I want to do at model, and then I want it to be the metadata model. Now it doesn't like my using statement, so I'm just going to check on any of my others. Fiona Whitfield, I'll just do it like this. I won't do a separate using. So do it like that. Fiona Whitfield art.models dot metadata model. Right, so it knows to expect that. Now, a guy called Frank, who's watching some of my videos, he had this issue, and I'll show you the issue that he had, because it's going to happen now. So we're going to do a render data metadata. Just before you do, the issue is here, so where we're not passing in model. So just be aware of it. I'm going to take it off just so you can see what happens when it's not there. So if we now go into the blog post, because this is the only place where I've got it calling it. Actually, I need it in the web base. So really what we want to do is add it on all of our document types, because there probably aren't any pages that you're not going to have this metadata on there. So let's just get rid of these. At render metadata. So that's not right, so I need to do the render action call. So I'll do render action, and it's html.renderAction. Getting rusty here, guys, sorry about this. Hope you can hear me as well, sorry if I'm mumbling under my breath. And the action I want to call is render metadata. The controller that I want to call it from is site layout, and obviously I've not plugged in any of the details from it, so it's just going to look exactly the same. The title, I know it's not metadata, someone will be pedantic about that. I'm going to stick this in here because that can use the same title. I mean, it's being called in the same place, so give me a break. So Fiona Web local, so if we go to one of our articles, actually we can go straight to it from these latest blog posts. So I can click the link on it's the iPhone 6 one, wasn't it, that we added the content for? New iPhone 6 release, so I can get to it this way. So hopefully we don't see any errors. Right, we've not seen an error, so that's pretty good. We've got the author in there. So what we can see here is that it has pulled it through from the partial, because these wouldn't be here if it wasn't pulling this through. So that's good. The other thing is it's not complaining about anything yet, but if I was to go with like at model.title, it would complain now on a refresh. Where is it? This one. It would complain because the model's empty. So object reference not set to an instance of an object. It's looking for the title, but it's not got a title. And that was the error that Frank was having. So what I realised it might be is that he wasn't passing in the model here, because when we're slicing up the templates, put them into these calls, return partial view, and then you come back and you start adding a model to it. But if you forget to include the model with a comma and then model like that, then you will basically face this sort of error. So it's one to look out for. So now I need to just do a rebuild. Okay, and then refresh the page, reload the page. So now we should overcome that error. Any minute now. Okay, so now it's not complaining, and if we look at the source of the page, and we can see the title, oh, it's not pulled through the title. That's weird. Oh, I tell you what I've not done. In the model, is it in the controller? I said if it's got that property, then pull that property, otherwise page name. But what I also need to do is just check that the property just check that it's not null or empty. How am I doing this? I might just do this here, string title equals, and then if the title is not null or empty, then pull it through. Otherwise, use current page name. I mean, it might be overkill for this. It probably is overkill for this, but let's just see. So just close these extra windows that we don't need. Right, come on, hurry up and load. Don't know why it's running so slowly actually. I know I did a rebuild, but come on. Anyway, so you can see the title appeared in the browser title there, and if we inspect and we have a look up here in the head, we can see the title, so it's coming. So that's good. So now we can fill in the other parts on this metadata. So if we do at model.description in there, and anywhere else that wants a description in the OG description, and we can take the title and we can fill that in here and here. We've got the site name, so we want the image. So the image is at model.image URL. Okay, we'll come back to the URL, so I can put that image in there as well. And then what have we got left? So we've got the keywords at model.keywords, and then we've got the URL again there and there. So the way I would do the URL is I would, well, first of all, now we can check after in one big go. So if I look at the model, I've got the URL on the model. I do have the URL on the model, that's good. So the URL, I would do it like this. So I would say model.url equals current page.url with domain, like that. Now this might not be exposed to you unless you've got Umbraco web.web here and Umbraco core model, so that basically you can, this is a extension method for an iPublish content, and as current page is iPublish content, then that's why we can use this. So that's good. So model URL is there. So now we can go back to the metadata and we can add that in there. And then the Twitter card. So I said I'll show you the one that I use on CodeShare. So if we just view page source on CodeShare and we look at Twitter card, so it's summary large image. To set up one of these, there's other things here as well. if I were you, I'd just view source, nick the ones that I've got on CodeShare, like we've got creator and site and things like that. So just nick that and just adapt it to yours. But I think there might be something. So Twitter create, what is it called? It's a card. So Twitter cards, and the one that I'm using is a summary large image. I think that one looks the best. So yeah, it comes out like this sort of thing here. So it shows you how to do it. You might need a developer account if you might need to enable it, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about how you feed that data in. So, but if you need any help, you can comment on the video. I can try and help you, guide you further. So let's just make sure we've got everything plugged into these fields now. It looks like we have. So I've just done a rebuild, so we'll do another reload of the page and let's have a look at it. So the other thing to note as well is that really for search engines you want to have a canonical link. So that is so that you might have variations of the same page or with a different template and that, and you just want to make sure that your link to this article is the de facto one. It's the one that search engines know is the original article. So that would be this part here. That's the full link is the canonical link, and you want to use that URL because that is actually getting you the canonical link. Let's just check to see on the web base if they've done that for us. So I'll just search for canonical. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not on there. So we can just add that onto our metadata here. So we do link, rel equals canonical. href equals, and then we want to do @model.url. So you'll be grateful that I told you that. I think down the line, if you didn't know about it, but here it is, link rel is canonical. Oh, I've got a closing one for that. Didn't think you'd do that. Probably doesn't matter either way. Right, so I think I did a build. I'll do another one just in case. I'm always doing that when I'm working on stuff. And then we'll go on the front end and we will give it a refresh. So now we should have all of it on there, all filled in. So we've got the image. Now the image has not got the full correct path. We want the path for the site as well as the media path. So we'll fix that first. So what we can do on here, so you can do it a couple of ways. So you can do it so it can pull it from the current page. So that would be, you could get it from the home page. So where have we got it from the home page on here? Do we ever get the, oh, here we go. So this is the home page. The best way to do this, it's quite quick and it's quite handy. So I do get the home page like that. That is the document type alias for the home page. And then I would say string domain name or domain address equals homepage.url with domain. So now we've got that, we can then add that to the URL for the image. So we've got the media item URL, so we can go domain address, actually let's use this dollar like this. So we'll do domain address in here, and I'm going to trim end to get rid of the closing slash, and then after that I want the media item.url, so just straight after, because that starts with a leading slash. So now I've got image URL, that, and that. Now I could have done that with just domain address, trim end, blah blah blah, plus media item URL, but I've just started using this dollar. I think it's a C#6 feature. Right, so now the image URL should be the full path, so it should be similar to the Canonical Link in that it's got the domain address, but it's got the path to the image in it as well. So let's have a look. Nice and slow. Come on. Something must be running on my PC. It's supposed to be an i7 SSD and all of that. Right, so looking at the image URL now, so we've got the website address, then /media/ whatever. So just so you know, when it gets shared, this now will be the image that is the preview image. Brilliant. And just to go a bit further as well, to show you that if you wanted to, you could get the image and then add some query strings for the optimal size. So what I like to do on CodeShare is have a 1920 by 1080, so basically a 1080p image, and then I like to use it with the image processor for the different sizes. So that's another good one for you as well. So you could add that query string on the end of your URL to make it different sizes. I think that is it. So now you know how to add those in there. Websites will start using that. Let's just check that the rest of the site works now. I've done that. I don't want to break your whole site, but it should do. It should just be empty for those other pages that's not got the properties on there yet. So let's just have a look. Yeah, so these are empty. So if you want to add those in these, you could just go into, if you go into the document types, you could then allow home to have those SEO things as well by doing compositions, metadata, submit, save. And now if I go into home, I'll have that tab on there. Here we go. Welcome to Fiona Whitfield Art. I can do Fiona Whitfield Art. Social share image. I'll stick that one. Save and publish. Now if I refresh, it's really slow. You can hear the fans and everything. I say really slow. I'm sure it's not slow compared to my old machine. Anyway, let's have a look at this. There we go. So it's pulled in the description, the keywords, the image for sharing on the different platforms. So I hope that's helped you out. I think one or two people have asked for that as well. If you have got any requests and you want to know how to do something regarding this tutorial that I was doing for you, maybe there was something missing from it, then please do get in touch on the comments or follow me on Google Plus, and I can do a hangout with you, reply back and things like that. So also, if you've enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, so that you don't miss any future videos. And keep watching, and I look forward to giving you some more free content. Alright, thanks a lot. Bye.